The Wally Show podcast is our daily radio show heard live through the WayFM app each morning and hosted by Wally, Gavin, and me, Betty Rock. For more fun, be sure to connect with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally. She's the smartest girl on the show.
I have a question.
It's News-ish with Betty Rock on The Wally Show.
I think we all want to come across as decent human beings, and that's the same situation when you walk into a theater. When you want to go see a movie, there are certain etiquette rules that we all need to live by, and sometimes we just need a reminder.
And they shouldn't have to be written down, but you probably should have them in big letters somewhere because people tend to break the same ones over and over and over.
Right. Well, some of these make sense. It's just that I never thought about it. Like, for instance, don't hold up the snack line. I didn't even think about this, but they're like, when you're standing in line waiting your turn, already have figured out what you want to order.
You've got plenty of time.
Yeah, so don't like sit there and be like, I don't know, should I get that?
How's your popcorn? Is your popcorn good today?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, like just don't do it. I think this one everyone should know. Arrive on time. But I have been to movies in the past where people are walking in, 20 minutes late.
I don't get that.
I don't either. I think they just don't want to see the trailers, which I get to some degree. But also, it's very frustrating when you have people that are trying to crawl over.
Excuse me, sorry.
Sorry.
And then they sit down and they're like, oh, I need popcorn. Excuse me, sorry. And they're all
exactly.
the way back out.
This one I didn't even think about, but I'm sure Gavin has. Bathroom trips.
Come on.
Yes.
They say don't make them as discreet as possible.
And that's why I do try to dehydrate before.
Good idea.
And then also sit on the edge because I'm the person that does the climb.
My wife, we sit on the edge. We sit on the last two seats. Because she has a pattern. We get there, we watch 4 of the 5 trailers, and then on the 5th trailer, or whatever it is, the second to last trailer, she goes and uses the restroom and then comes in. We have it dialed in, but we don't affect anybody else.
Yeah. Well, their tips are stay low. Don't get up during a pivotal scene. And if you're not sure what the pivotal scene is, well, download the app Run Pee, and it'll tell you when and where to go.
I do have that.
Yeah. And then finally, this is one that I didn't even think about, but it's so true. Don't talk about the movie in the lobby. So if you were going to see like the new X-Men movie that's number 7, X-Men Final Countdown.
Yeah.
And then you talk about how Marvel Iron Man died. Like, oh, you ruined it for everybody else. So just don't talk about it. Or if you're going to talk about it quietly or wait till you get outside.
Discreetly, yeah, I could see that. I remember walking out of a movie, It Ends With Us, which was about domestic violence, and my wife wanted to talk about it. I'm like, absolutely not. Because I can't say any, like if I say anything that is even remotely against the narrative or the plot line or even questions part of it, like, well, was this I'm like, I was one of 3 guys in the movie, and so I already was like super outnumbered, and she's like trying to bait me.
Yeah,
I'm like, no, I'm not talking about this till we are in the car with the doors locked and I'm maybe driving away. Uplifting WayFM, this is the Wally Show. So we were at the red carpet for the Dove Awards, and I ran into John Cooper from the band Skillet-Skillet-Doo. And I hadn't seen Cooper in a long time. And so we were just kind of talking, and I said, oh man, I think you'll like this. But I took your song Unpopular, which is it's a great song, face melty, love it. And I combined it with the music from the Broadway play Wicked, their song Popular, because I know we're not playing a lot of Skillet anymore, and I wanted to get some Skillet on the show, and I figured this was a good way to do it. And to my surprise, he was like, oh, that sounds awesome. I said, yeah, Gavin's working on a video for it. Would you like to see it? He says, absolutely. Send it to me. I'll share it. And so I'm like, delightful. And so Betty Rock is going to do a collab with them, and hopefully Skillet will share this song of Wicked Popular, as we're calling it, or Wicked Unpopular. Here's a little taste of it.
Popular.
Unpopular.
I just love how sweet, Popular is over just that melt your face off riff. It's so good.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
It is awesome. And if you want to see the video for this, we've made it easy for you to get. Just text the word unpopular to 91979 and we will send you a link that's unpopular to 91979.
Yeah, and so hopefully you'll also see this on Skillet's website. I really hope Cooper posts this because I'm real happy with it, and Gavin did a great job with the video. So again, unpopular to 91979. We'll send you a link and you can watch it.
Hey, Wally, do you have a minute?
Sorry, busy.
I have cake.
Oh, what do you need?
Yeah, see, that's a perfect example of even though we are busy, we make time for what's important.
Yeah, because going back to school as an adult, you're busy with work, you've got family, but if you want to make your education a priority, trust me, you can do it. Betty did.
Like when I first started, I was super intimidated because it had been a while since I've been in school. But I mean, from the very first conversation, I felt like they were setting me up for success.
Yeah, and going back to school with CCU's flexible online courses makes it so convenient.
Yeah, and what's so cool is every class has a biblical worldview perspective. And so you think, well, how can they turn math into a biblical worldview? They find a way.
Yeah, and that was one of my jobs when I was teaching at CCU, was integrating not just the facts and figures of things, but how your faith plays into what you're going to do.
CCU offers Christ-centered higher education, transforming students to impact the world with grace and truth.
Cultivate your mind without compromising your heart. Get started today at online.ccu.edu. Colorado Christian University is a non-profit impact partner.
He'll help you make sense of today's stories
Never been much for public speaking or school, really.
as soon as someone explains them to him. It's News-ish with Wally.
Oh boy, did anybody have trouble getting toilet paper recently?
I didn't.
You didn't? Okay.
No.
My wife went to...
What year is it?
I know. You think it's 2020 again. My wife went to the grocery store. She's just shopping as normal. Notices the craziest phenomenon that all the toilet paper is gone. Like, what in the world? Then she starts seeing posts from around the country of shelves with no TP.
What?
And, yeah, and you're like, why is this happening? Dock workers strike. So dock workers go on strike. America once again panics, as we do with everything. Mm-hmm. And we're like, and the first thing we think to control is toilet paper. I love that that's our first reaction. Okay, something bad could be happening. What do we do? Brad, go to the store, buy all the toilet paper, okay?
Yeah, like you need to think about food and water
I don't know.
and baby formula,
There's-
diapers.
I don't know. If you open the pantry and there's
Yeah.
not like a box of cereal, it's different than when you like reach over and you're like, oh, wait, we're out?
And toilet paper during COVID almost became currency.
Yeah.
And so, and then too, you mean to tell me that we're getting all of our TP from China? You know, like we've got to be making some locally.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
anyway, I think people just panicked. Well, I do have some good news. There's been a tentative agreement to settle the strike between the dock workers, because... but again, it's going to still cost us because they're getting this big raise, and if they get a big raise, guess what happens to goods that get shipped in? It raises. So the agreement, get this, would increase the dock workers' wages by 62% over the life of a 6-year contract. Ooh. So they were offered a 50% raise. They're like, no, not good enough. Most of us get a 3% raise. And they said, we want 77%. Good. So they settled on 62%. So if you're wondering how does that shake out, they're making right now $39 an hour.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I know. Look at your face.
Can I become one?
I know.
Do the math?
I'll do the math for you,
thank
Gavin. I
you.
got it. By the end of this contract, they will be up to $63 an hour.
Oh my!
So on a 40-hour work week, they will be making $2,520 a week, minus all the. Then they got to, do union fees and all this stuff. 52 weeks a year, that's $131,000 a year
lot of money.
to unload ships. I know. And then I'm thinking. We have big ports in LA. I'm like, okay, all these people coming into the United States illegally, if you take a dock worker job, you make them legal all of a sudden, so they get instant legality, and you start taxing them instead of just having them take from the system. Now you're paying them. You could pay them $30 an hour and still be money ahead and lower goods that way and provide something for them that they're going to be thrilled with, and teach unions that, hey, maybe you might not want to overprice yourself.
I hear you.
Yes.
But my first reaction is, where's my TP?
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
I need TP.
I know. So, yeah. So go out and get that today. Hoard it today because it will be currency one day. Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. We're going to do something different here today. Betty Rock, you are going to get to pick the conversation that we have.
This is cool.
Are you excited about this?
Yeah, because
Okay.
I like
new.
to have
Power?
Yeah.
Okay, so here's the deal. This is what you have to choose from, okay? Time you had to eat your words, time you owed someone an apology, or unlikely heroes.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
She sees where it's going right now, doesn't she? She just walked into that one. So we were at
This is
a
not fair
retreat.
because all three of the topics go into the same story. That's what's not fair.
So yesterday we were at a retreat and we were playing laser tag, and Betty Rock twisted her ankle.
Are
to
you
which,
okay?
yeah, I'm fine. Thank
Yeah.
you for
Okay,
asking.
just
Yeah,
double
I'm
check.
good.
Wait a minute! Don't thank him for asking. I asked you first thing this morning, and he did nothing
Yeah, but
yesterday
you were
to
asking,
heal you.
No, because you were asking to get like the confidence back in your amateur first responder
I
capabilities.
amateur first responded Betty
You did
Rock
not.
yesterday.
I twisted my ankle,
Yep.
so it was. I had to sit down, okay? I couldn't play anymore. And then Wally's like, let me move it.
Yeah.
What if it was broken?
I knew it wasn't because there was no bruising or swelling. I just knew it was a slight twist. But I carried you. I picked her up and
that.
carried her.
Okay, wait a minute, but
What?
I didn't want to be picked up or
I understand
carried.
that, but I'm an amateur first responder. That's what
So
I
I
do.
don't listen to the victim.
Right.
I have to do what I'm
So
told.
I carried her to a higher embankment so she could still shoot people with her laser tag gun. And then I carried her up the hill to a flat space where I waited with her until somebody came to pick her up. Then, when we got back down to the cabin, I rummaged through a cabin that I don't know where anything is. I find a bag, I do crushed ice, and I get a towel, wrap it around it, and place it on her ankle. First responder, stellar.
but-
And she's walking today unencumbered.
You know who I want to really credit for all of that?
Nope.
Is Joy.
Nope.
Gavin, I think you'll understand with me. You know, I had the ice on my foot, but I mean, I was starting to lose the blood flow in my ankle because Wally didn't think about that in his amateur first responder mentality. But Joy, who does our
Yeah.
middays, she was like, oh my goodness, you need a chair to prop it up. And
Yeah.
I was like, I do. And I think that made all the difference.
Yeah, that's
so
what
Joy,
it was.
if you're listening, thank you. Thank you for seeing my
Yeah.
need
I love
and
how
responding.
Actively, you're trying not to thank him.
I know.
You're
She's
doing a great job.
doing a great job. Next time, I'm just going to push her down the hill. Okay, so which do you want? Time you had to eat your words, time you owed an apology, or unlikely heroes?
Unlikely heroes.
Unlikely heroes.
Oh, well, thank you. Yay.
That's not me saying you are one.
Just like I was Betty's unlikely hero. You
No.
heard it from her mouth.
No.
We're going to talk about those times that you were in a situation, Betty's called it, and somebody showed up as an unlikely hero for you. Maybe you were on the side of the road and a stranger came by. Maybe you had twisted your ankle and it was about to fall off, but somebody saved you. And now
was a
you're walking
sprain.
and you're walking normal today because of the work I did yesterday.
You're putting yourself in Jesus' shoes when
I
he told
healed
that
you.
lame man,
Yeah.
get up and walk.
Don't you know he said the same power that is in me is in you?
Amen.
And I thank you, Lord, but you get the credit. You
Oh,
get the glory.
my word.
I was just your hands. I was just your hands on her feet. All right, so 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. Tell us your unlikely hero story. Maybe it was you, too. So, Sherry, what was the time you had an unlikely hero swoop in for you?
Well, 4 years ago, I had walked to work for 3 years without a vehicle. And a lady who used to go to our church, named LaTonya Kennedy, that was no longer going to our church, called me up out of the blue and absolutely gave me for free a 2009 Aspen.
Oh,
Wow.
How far had you been walking to work?
2.5 miles there and 2.5 miles home,
Okay.
5 days a week.
Well, that's not a short trip.
No, it wasn't short, but I mean, winter, everything.
Yeah.
She said, I seen you walk for 3 years, and when I finished paying off my car, God told me to give it to you.
Wow, that is a hero move. Because I think when God calls us to things, a lot of times it costs us something. There's some sort of a cost to it. And so the fact that she has now a paid off car that she could just enjoy and not have a car payment, she turns around and blesses you with that, which meets a need for you, but it also increases her faith as well. So that's a great story. I love that, Sherry. How much did you sell it
Yeah.
for?
No.
No, it's still in my driveway.
Oh, good.
Sherry, how has your relationship been with this woman since all that happened?
Even closer. I mean, we don't get to see each other very much.
Sherry's like, we don't see each other much because if she's walking to the grocery store, I drive right past her. Adrian, when has there been a time that someone was an unlikely hero for you?
I was going down 95 and I picked up something. I was in Lantana at the gas station. I was able to pull off, thought I just needed some air. And a youth pastor from Christ Fellowship in Port St. Lucie God told him to come there because I was not taking the air. He changed my tire and prayed for me, and I was in tears because it was amazing. No air, the pump thing wasn't working. It was just amazing, and I am so grateful for God just answering my prayers.
That's amazing because he uses people to answer prayers. And when you're on the other side of that and you get to be the person that follows through with what God put on your heart, that feels pretty amazing too. This is where I'm different from the youth pastor, is that I would definitely help change a tire and I would stop there. But I like that the youth pastor changes the tire and then is like, hey, is there anything I can pray with you for? I mean, that's probably a place in my faith that I need to get better at, is doing the God stuff and the nice human stuff, you know? You weren't weirded out at all by someone saying, hey, can I pray for you, right?
Oh, totally not. It is definitely wonderful to hear him and see him continuously moving in my life.
Well, I love it, girl. Thanks for being on the show with us, Adrian. You're the best.
Thank you.
Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show, and this is really exciting. I love this part of my job when we get to call and give somebody some good news. We had done a jingle contest recently where we asked people, just normal people, not professional musicians, just, hey, do you know the Wally Show? Would you like to give us a jingle, something that you make up on the fly, and then share it with us? And if you do, you could be coming to Nashville and to record that in a studio with us, which I think is really cool. So here's the fun part. We get to call our winner right now. Let me get the phone going. Hang on. Now.
Hello.
Hey, is this Chandler?
This is.
Chandler, it's the Wally Show. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, we could not be better. I got a couple questions for you about your jingle submission for our Wally Show jingle contest, which was fabulous, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Now, do you remember it offhand? Because I know you know we had people just doing them in the moment, and so do you remember what you did?
I think so, yeah.
Could you give us a live rendition of it here on the show?
Yeah, sure. No pressure, right?
No pressure at all, but I love it. Like, this is the kind of artist you want to work with. Just have her step up and do it on the spot. What do you got?
All right. Well, I start my day off the best way I know. A lot of fun, a little weird. Who isn't so? In your house, in your car, wherever you go. Time to turn up the Wally Show.
And right there is why Chandler is the winner of our jingle contest.
No way.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, my gosh.
Lyrically, it's great. Performance-wise, it's great. It ticks all the boxes, and you actually have a really nice voice. So I think when you get in the studio at Capitol CMG Studios with We the Kingdom, we're going to create magic.
Yeah. Y'all, I'm shaking. This is wild.
So how long have you listened to The Wally Show?
Probably since, 2015. I remember hearing it when I was in high school, but I didn't really get into it until I was in college, and one of my former teachers, she loved it and was like, you should listen to the show. So, yeah, you guys are great. So
That's
fun.
great.
I love what y'all do, so.
I heard about it in high school, then I listened in college. Now I'm a professional. Wally has gotten old as dirt. Thank you for not working that into your jingle. I greatly appreciate that.
It was tempting, but, I didn't want to put that in there.
Well, I appreciate that. A very pro move.
I actually do write songs, so this is, going to be a dream experience.
Oh, that's
She's
pretty awesome.
going to be like, hey, just give me a one-way ticket. I'm not leaving Nashville.
Actually, yeah. If you could set that up.
I like that we didn't ask for people that, to be professional musicians or whatever. It was like anybody is open to do this. But I kind of like that you actually like writing songs and you're going to get to experience a nice studio in Nashville. That's just the cherry on the top of the cake there.
Yeah, I'm so pumped. You have no idea.
Oh, it'll be so cool. What's your day job right now?
I'm a graduate advisor, so, you got to fund the dream. The day
Absolutely.
job funds the dream.
You might want to turn in your 2 weeks notice. I have a good feeling about all of this.
Don't do that
just
yet,
quit.
Chandler.
Just
No.
quit. You're coming to Nashville.
No, not yet. Not yet. I mean, I want to stay positive, but not that positive.
Well, congratulations again, Chandler, and thank you for joining our Wally Show jingle contest.
Well, thank you. I'm honored.
It's kind of weird how patriotism and prayer have almost been vilified inside of our society today. And that's why it's cool to see people stand up for both. From the director and producers of God's Not Dead, there's a new film out that's called Average Joe. And it's a story you probably were aware of a little while back of the high school football coach Joe Kennedy, who chose to fight for his right to exercise his faith and pray at the 50-yard line following games. I think what's interesting about this movie is they delve into his childhood and his past and what led him to this place, because he had his skeletons and he wasn't this perfect revival Christian guy. He was a real life guy that had issues, but faith was a part of that. And I think that that's the part of the movie that connected with me and maybe will connect with you as well. He was fired. His wife Denise even gets caught in the middle of it and she has to pick a side. So if you want to check it out, it's Average Joe. It's rated PG-13, so you can make your decisions as a parent there. It's in theaters October 11th. And if you want tickets or more information, you can find that at averagejoemovie.com.
Things you didn't know you needed to know today. It's News-ish with Gavin.
You guys know when you're watching those commercials about medicine and there's always that tagline at the end is like, before taking Ozempic, talk to your doctor.
Yeah.
Like, it literally does say, talk to your doctor. Don't go down any sketchy routes, obviously. But apparently, people on Facebook Marketplace are finding ways to buy Ozempic on Facebook Marketplace, which is
because it's a controlled substance.
It is, and it's something that you do go to your doctor for. You get prescribed for,
right?
And so now people are spending $500, $600, $700. They're literally posting searching for it.
Yeah.
Too. Sometimes it's not even people posting the actual stuff there.
Right.
It's like they're searching for it, and apparently with Facebook Marketplace, when you do that, it is a literal criminal offense. You can face fines, penalties, and then up to 15 years in prison.
Oh, wow.
For going down this route. And so
they just adjust your algorithm so you don't see funny videos anymore.
Well, and if you don't realize it, Ozempic has gotten so popular because it's great at helping you lose weight, even though it was meant for
diabetes.
Mm-hmm. But now they realize, you can lose a lot of weight and it's not covered by insurance. So if you can't get it covered through your insurance,
that's a big one.
People are going to go on the internet and look for it.
That's the crazy thing about this is that a lot of times too, you can do a trial of Ozempic and it doesn't cost you a bunch. And so you're like, oh my goodness, this is working. And then when that trial is up and then you have to start getting it covered and insurance doesn't cover it, unless you have diabetes or you're in a morbid obese category, you have to pay, and it can be over $1,000 a month.
Yeah, and when people are trying to sell it on Facebook Marketplace on the cheap. So it looks like they're trying to sell it for a cheaper number. But I am just concerned with the overall mindset of needing to go down that route. And again, I do believe that I having not been in the place where my insurance didn't cover the thing that I needed to get healthy, it's hard for me to say, to point a finger and say, oh, that's, silly on you. But I don't know if I see the balance of that, of facing years in prison for something like that. That's the part that
nothing is worth years in prison.
I'm glad personally to know that that Facebook has that set in motion. You already don't love, dealing with Facebook Marketplace, but could be worse.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to prison, you'll lose weight because the food is so bad.
That's true.
So I mean, there is an upside.
I didn't see that upside.
Yeah, see, you know what? I'm a silver lining kind of guy. I try to find the good in everything. Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show, and we had an article sent to us the other day at work about prayer, and it asked the question, does God hear my prayers? And it was interesting because, it was saying that, God definitely hears our prayers, but then it gave reasons for why sometimes God says no at times. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's interesting because, we always hear that God answers prayer in 3 ways. There's yes, no, and not now, or, what have you. And so I was like, okay, well, why is it that you're saying there could be a no? It says, well, because we're choosing to hold on to sin rather than repent and change. God will not hear our prayers. In Isaiah 1:15, it says, the Lord says, when you spread out your hands in prayer, I hide my eyes from you. Even when you offer many prayers, I'm not listening. And it's because you've got that gap of sin between you and God, and you're not repentant. I'm like, oh, that's kind of important.
Yeah, because I can see that, because then you're not sorry, or you don't want to fix it. You're just
living in it.
Right.
And you're choosing to be, well, this is what it is. And so that's a fascinating reason for God not hearing our prayers. You know, the example the article gave was like, say, a couple living together in sin, you know, not being married, and then praying for God to bless their home. And it's like, well, you're not doing the thing that God's telling you to do. How can you pray for the blessing if you're not living in his will or his way? I'm like, okay, I think that's a fair example. Another one was when we ask according to our own selfish desires, God will not hear those prayers. Like James 4:3 says, when you ask, you do not receive because you ask with the wrong motives, that you may spend what you get on your own pleasures. And so, yeah, God let me win the lottery. You know, and then you kind of go, and I'll tithe on it, you know, but the reality is God knows your heart more than he knows your heart. And so you can't fool him. And when you're praying for things, if you're truly praying for things out of a selfish desire, the Bible's saying, yeah, he's not going to honor that. I'm like, okay, I think that's a good thing. I mean, the Lord's Prayer is all about praying for God's will to be done. And if you align your heart with God's will, then you will pray differently. You know,
your perspective will change.
Absolutely. So I thought that was an interesting one. The example it gave was a guy that was dissatisfied with his 3-year-old car, so he prays for a brand new Mercedes. You know, or those pastors that are like, you know, Lord, my old jet just isn't big enough anymore. I need a new jet. Somehow they get it, though. That one bothers me.
I don't like that. 10%'s too much.
Yeah, that one's a little rough. Okay, there's one more and from this list that I thought was interesting. And then also I have a perspective on prayer and the reason that being right with God is important. So we'll go through that here in 10 minutes on The Wally Show. Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. I just kind of wanted to share something with you that I got sent to us at work the other day. An interesting article about God and prayer and like times that maybe he does say no because of things we got going on in our lives. And so one of the other ones on this list was when we ask for something not in accordance with his will. This goes back to how Jesus taught us to pray. Like in my life, so many times when I'm confused about something in the Bible, I'm not sure, okay, is this contradictory? And I know people say the Bible doesn't contradict itself, but there are things that on the surface, if you don't know the whole context, that might seem like that. And so when I'm in that place, I go back and I look at what Jesus said, because that's who we're supposed to follow. So with this, Jesus gave us the Lord's Prayer. This is how you guys are supposed to pray. You know, our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And so I think this is a really important thing, because if we are praying for God's will to be done, then it's going to change what we pray for and how we pray for it. Because I think all of us are guilty of laundry list of things we want and selfish desires motivating our prayers. And then when God doesn't show up the way we've asked him to, then he's not a good God anymore. You know, and like, well, you don't love me. If you did, you would have just done it this way. And his whole thing was, your ways are not my ways. My ways are not your ways. So you need to be praying that my will be done. And if you do that, then you might see God's power more in your life. And I think, too, it will change the way you pray when you start seeing that as well. But I did think of this. This whole conversation came down to this, too. Because this one, who's like, the example on this was like, you're praying for a new job. God, get me a new job. I'm miserable. I need a new job. And then, you know, God's like, well, maybe I'm not done with you there yet. Maybe you are there for a reason, and maybe you have to find that joy in that job and stick it out and keep doing it.
Maybe so.
Yeah, it's good advice, right? Yeah, okay.
I would say so.
I know, me too. But then after this whole conversation, I thought, if we're not in right standing with God, it does affect our ability to pray for others. Because if you're not in a place where your relationship is strong with God, you can try to go to him in prayer, and you'll find that you throw up some half-hearted prayer, you start praying and you trail off because you know that there's still something between you and God that you're holding on to. And until you settle that, your prayer life is not going to be fervent, and it's not probably going to be very productive either.
Right.
You know, and I think that's something that I'm wrestling through on a personal level, you know, for me. And like, I know there was something I really needed to pray for the other day, and I just had the hardest time finding the words because I've got this bitterness or this resentment for something else, you know, and I ended up kind of half-heartedly praying for it, and so I missed out on that blessing and that communicating with God in a moment because of something completely unrelated to that. It affected me praying for someone that I love, you know, and so I think that if nothing else, if you take away this from my horrible example as a human being and a believer, is that, you know, working through the things in your life and the issues and being in right standing with God is important, not just for you, but it's important for other people too, because it will affect you praying for them. So there you go. Little bit of crack the chest open, let you see my mess, and hopefully it will help you.
Boy, was it messy.
Yeah, I know. It's ugly. I know.
I came here in a time machine that you invented. Great Scott! Now I need your help to get back in time.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. It's Friday, so that means we are in our time machine, headed back in time right now. And Glenn is the guy who's calling the shots. He's directing us where to go. Now, Glenn, we're going to ask you to tell us what song you want to go back in time to and why you want to hear that song. So what is it?
The song for me would be Your Love Never Fails by the Newsboys.
Ooh, Betty Rock, what year?
We're going back all the way to 2011.
Wow.
Now, hitting theaters in 2011 was the box office top hit, The Help.
You is kind, you is smart, you is important.
I tell myself that every day.
I really liked the movie. I thought it was
I did
fantastic.
too, yeah.
And I think it was based off a book. Though
Yeah.
I never read the book, and I know you
Never
didn't
do.
either.
Yep, never do. If I could go back in time and see more movies, read less books, I would. So, Glenn, why did you pick Your Love Never Fails by the Newsboys?
I spent almost my daughter's entire high school time in Afghanistan. I was gone almost the entire time.
Vacation or work?
Yeah, vacation. Yeah, work paid.
What branch of the military were you in?
I'm Air Force.
Nice. That was my wife's dad was Air Force. Go Blue. I love it.
While I was gone, she went to a Newsboys concert where we live, Birmingham, Alabama, and she got an autograph CD from the Newsboys. And I had yet to see the Newsboys with Michael Tate as the lead singer. I'd seen him with DC Talk, over and over.
Sure.
I grew up with them. So when I got back, they were the first concert I went to see, and that was the first time I saw them live with Michael Tate, and it just struck a chord with me, that song. And every time I went to see them, and then because of the work I did, it could make you very jaded, even as a believer, just the terrible things that I had to deal with. Just it seemed like every time I need to hear that song, you guys would play it over the years, and it's really helped me.
Well, dude, that's crazy. I am so thankful for what you do. I mean, you allow us to do this, so thank you very much. And that's hard being away from your family. I know the sacrifices that comes with. And it's funny that you mentioned Michael Tate being the new singer, because they had Peter Furler, and I had Duncan and Michael in on the show when they first announced that Michael. Yeah.
Why did they not choose you to be lead singer?
I auditioned. It didn't go well, and I even told him, I said, I don't think this thing with Michael is going to work. And I was wrong. I've never been happy to be wrong in all of my life. So here we go. All the way back to 2011 for Glenn. It is the Newsboys, Your Love Never Fails, on Flashback Friday.
Nothing can separate. Even if I run away, your love never fails. I know I'll still make mistakes. You have no mercy.
Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show. And while you guys were listening to Glenn's song for Flashback Friday, that's the Newsboys, Your Love Never Fails. We were kind of talking to him about his time spent in the military, and so we had some time to kill. We're going back to 2011. And so we got to talking to him about his service, because he spent 15 years in Afghanistan. And I was super curious about what that life was like.
I did Global War on Terror. I was in intelligence. We chased bad guys all over the world. It was a tough job, man. Tough gig.
So did it mess with you when you came home, too?
I had some hard times. So I've seen things that no human being should have to see. I have physical and mental trauma from it. I was medically discharged. I have PTSD from it. When you do it for as long as I have, it's just the wear and tear on your soul and your mindset. It's crazy. But I'm working through it. I'm doing, and like I said, you guys have been a big part. You have no idea. You're doing the Lord's work, and I can't thank you enough for what you guys do. It means a lot.
Well, that's weird. A guy like you thanking us, honestly, because it's us that need to be thanking you because you have put in the very difficult work. So, Glenn, I'm curious, like, what advice would you give to other military guys that are coming back and are kind of wrestling through some of this stuff based on what you know now and being in maybe a healthier place?
Probably three things. One, I'm really serious about this. Listening to you guys is a huge help because you guys bring so much encouragement. You got the entertainment value. Sometimes you keep it light. Sometimes you talk serious things. And then for me, I went to my medical doctor, and she's a believer. That was huge for me. Every time I got to go see her, we would talk, and she would pray for me, and that's a big deal. And then, of course, you've got to get in the Word. You've got to realize that we win in the end, and you've got to know that the hope is real.
Glenn, I really appreciate you. Not just, thank you for your service, but also just thank you for being so open and sharing a little bit about what it was like for you.
Oh, you guys are my heroes. You have no idea.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.
Uplifting Way FM. If it's trending, streaming, or starring, Betty Rock's got it on The Rock Report.
As a celebrity, I'm sure it gets annoying when you see the tabloids posting. Wait, you're not.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, you are.
Thank you, Gavin.
No, he's
What a
not.
star.
In our world.
Yeah,
No.
you're my celebrity.
Please. Wow. That is sad.
What were you saying? What were you saying about us as someone who doesn't live in our
I'm
world?
talking about A-list celebrities. You would be like F-.
Okay, that's fine. I'll take it.
Anyway,
Yeah, it's still there.
So I'm sure it has to be frustrating when you pick up the tabloids. They start this rumor about you, and and you know that it's not true. So Jenifer Aniston, A++ list.
100% love her.
Hollywood.
She's been in
star.
movies. I've been in movies.
That's right.
No.
She's okay.
Oh, my word. No, Jenifer Aniston, she is here to stop a few rumors and to start a few that are actually true.
Okay.
So the first one, there was a rumor going around that she installed a $4,000 anti-aging water filter for her dogs.
That wouldn't surprise me at all. If you're a celebrity, A-list, I'm not A-list.
No, far from it.
I can't afford a $4,000 filter for my dog's water. But an A-list celebrity, $4,000 is nothing to them.
Yeah, but it's not true.
Oh, really? See, I would have bought that.
I know, me too. Another rumor, is it true or false, that she has a black belt in jiu-jitsu?
You know what? You got a lot of time in between movies, and they seem like they'll give out black belts to anybody. So, yeah, I would believe that one.
Then why
And
don't you have one?
I would fight her. I would fight Jenifer Aniston. Like
She hasn't done a single action. And I can't think of a Jenifer Aniston.
she has one action movie. She does have one. Look it up. Jenifer Aniston action movie. She has
What is
one. I don't know, but she was like
He
tough.
speaks with such authority.
I'm telling you, there's one where she was tough. She's normally a comedic actress. Come on.
I mean, she was in the Bounty Hunter with.
Yes, and she was a female bounty hunter.
No, she was not. That was Gerard Butler.
She looks a lot like Gerard Butler.
Oh.
No.
What? No.
I'll find it.
Finally.
No, is she though? Yeah, or nay?
Oh, no, that's false.
Oh,
She
okay.
does not have a black belt in jiu-jitsu. Another rumor, is this one true or false? That she has a baggie that she keeps with her 24/7 of her late therapist's ashes.
Now, that sounds like a rumor that would start from somebody, but that's too crazy to be true. Like, you keep those on your mantle or something like that, so no.
That is actually true.
Oh, that's sad that one's true. I wish she was a black belt.
She said that her and her therapist were so close.
Oh, no.
And that when she passed away at the funeral, they were giving away her ashes to all the guests.
Okay, but let me just tell you this. If you're her therapist and you're now in her bag as Ash, her therapist would say, hey, you need to let me go. You need to not keep me in your purse with you. This is where you need to find another therapist and you need to fly and not be held back by the ashes of me in your purse.
Typically, I wouldn't agree with you on anything,
right.
but on this one, I would agree.
I think I'm right on this one.
This is how I became the most interesting person in the room.
Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show, and that is my goal, is to make you an interesting person and feel like you have something to add to any conversation. If you just squirrel away these little nuggets that we give you, it will definitely help you. And about anything, too. I try to run the gamut of different things that you could possibly encounter out in the real world.
Yeah. Like politics.
Politics, that's good. That's a very politically charged time of the year right now, right,
It is,
Rod?
and I don't want to live there in that world. You know, it wears me out.
I know.
And watching the news.
But people are talking about it.
I know, but a little of it goes a long way for me.
Sure.
So I guess you can please the people by being political, but maybe not so political.
Okay, so you want something that you can add into a conversation when people are debating the presidential race and diffuse it a little bit.
Yeah, maybe
I got
bring
you
a
covered.
little humor.
I got you covered.
Okay.
And this is right up your alley. This is a great natural segue for you. Do you know, and Betty Rock, you could say, I could never statistically be president, no matter how smart I am, no matter how good looking I am.
And people would be shocked.
Yeah,
they'd be like, are you kidding me? Yes, you could.
I could never be elected president if history has taught us anything. And they'd be like, why? Why is that? Because no only child has ever been elected president of the United States. What?
Really?
No president. And a lot of them have been from Ohio. That's a fact. But never an only child.
Wonder why.
They're just not that trustworthy, I guess.
I don't know.
Excuse me?
I just don't like them.
Well, a lot of times,
Excuse me?
Again, they want their way, and so they don't play well with others, and you need to be able to work with other people.
That's wrong. That is false.
Okay, all right.
False information. I don't like this.
Well, let me give you something else that's kind of interesting here. Politically, so you can kind of de-stress the situation. Dwight D. Eisenhower, do you remember him? He was the president.
The light bulb. Oh.
That's Edison.
Okay, yeah.
Dwight D. Eisenhower was the only president, here's where you can make it Christian, who was baptized in office.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I didn't know this either.
That's really powerful.
Back in 1952, during the presidential campaign, the word came out that he had never been baptized, so he did it 12 days after he was inaugurated.
Wow.
Yeah, it's funny, like, if somebody, like, if that meant something to people back then, like, you say you're a Christian, but has Dwight been baptized? No, he has not. And then he's like, I got to make this right, I guess. But I think that's kind of cool.
I mean, yeah. Did the people pressure him to do it?
Don't know.
Probably.
But
at least he did it.
I know, it's an outward sign of your faith. I would love to have more politics and more politicians revere things like baptism and actually revere things like faith and not just talk about it, but actually live it out. Mm-hmm. So there you go. A couple of things that you could use as your friends are talking about politics this time that aren't too political, but kind of interesting.
And also we learned who made the light bulb.
Yes, we did. Yeah, that's the one. If that's all you got out of this, like Betty, then my job here is done. Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. It is time for Snap Judgment. This is where Betty Rock takes two songs, puts them up for our consideration. We play a little snippet or a snap, make a judgment, and then we play the hook to see if our opinion of that song has changed. We have two songs that we put up against each other, and then you get to decide which one you would like to hear more of on Way FM. So with that said, Lady Rock, what is the name of song number one?
Yeah, so the first one is called Money Can't Buy.
What?
It's not a correct sentence. There's no direct object. It needs an object to modify. So for grammar purposes, before I even hear the snap, I'm done.
Okay, no. You cannot stand on the grammar hill.
Well,
I
is standing on it.
No, because you're always messing it up. When you write things, you're always messing it up. So no on the grammar.
All right, well, let's hear the snap of the improperly grammaticized song Money Can't Buy.
Wake me up from this slumber that
Okay.
All right.
Feels 80s to me.
I thought that sounded like Lion King for a second.
Oh, yeah, a little bit, yeah.
Da-da-da.
Okay. I'm going to be out on the snap personally, and I'm still a holdover from the grammar. I can't let it go. Sorry. Lady Rock.
It doesn't even make sense.
I know.
Why can't that rule stand when you're writing blogs for the station?
And misspelling everything.
Yes.
So I'm out. Lady Rock.
I'm in. I've got high hopes for it.
Gavin?
Yeah, I'm in just because it sounds different than other stuff I've heard.
Yeah.
So I
Hey,
wanna wait.
mahinga. Okay, here we go. This is the hook for Money Cannot Buy, or Money Can't Buy. In my life when something money can't buy. It's like Dave Matthews became a Christian artist all of a sudden. What? Feels my life when something can't buy now. And not musically, because he's more acoustic guitar.
Your musical ear is way off. It's way off.
Dead
But your
right on
grammar,
this one.
it's so on.
It's on,
No.
exactly. Thank you, Gavin.
No.
I'm going to have to take myself out on the hook of that one. Betty Lou, did you change, or you were in on the snap? Or you?
I'm in.
Are you
like
really?
it. It's because there's nothing else that we play that's like it.
Yeah.
There's a reason for that.
No, it stands out, and I think it's got a great message too, because we are all so about materialistic things and consuming,
Yeah.
and so I think it's a good reminder.
Okay.
I didn't hear a single lyric.
Yeah.
I didn't like that at all.
Yeah, okay.
I'm out.
Okay.
And I feel bad because I was excited about
Yeah.
it, and it's way different than anything we play, and I don't think it's in a super good way.
Yeah. Okay. So
we have to start making a rule that you
Yes.
cannot sing during the hooks.
I can't
okay?
help it.
No, you can help it.
I cannot help it.
Just mute your mic.
I can't. Like,
Yes, you can.
my finger is trained to not do that.
I'm not fighting with you
I can
on
do
this.
yours, like that works, but it doesn't work on mine. It's the weirdest thing. Okay, so we got one more song to go. We'll do that in 10 minutes here on Snap Judgment.
Wally Show.
Oh no,
Your
we're
mic's
10
on.
minutes.
Wait.
Yeah, 10 minutes here on the Wally Show. Boy, she is loud. And you'll get to decide which of the two songs you want to hear more of on Way FM. Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. We are down to song number 2 of Snap Judgment. Now, this is where we put two songs up against each other. You tell us which song you personally connect with and like better. We play a little snippet, we give our judgment, then we play the hook, see if our opinion has changed. We've done with song number 1, Money Can't Buy, which brings us to song number 2. What's it called, Lady Rock?
This one is called When You Forgive Someone.
Okay, I like that. That's something that we all could use more of in our lives is forgiveness. And
Why
so,
are you looking at me?
think
Look
you
at
could-
Gavin.
He forgives everybody. Gavin's like a Labrador. Gavin's like, come on, just love me. And you got to work for it more.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. So let's play the snap of this right now. When you forgive someone. All right, there you go.
Can I say something?
Please.
I'm out. Stop screaming at me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I gave it gave yelling vibes. I wasn't totally in on it.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna rule out the rebound.
Sure.
But I didn't care for that.
I need more yelling in my life.
No, you don't. If anyone needs less, it's you.
Yeah,
No,
Betty
so-
yells at you enough.
I know.
Well,
That's
yeah.
maybe that's why I'm used to it. I'm like, oh, it's a Tuesday. It doesn't matter. I know what today is. All right. So let me put Gavin out, Betty out. I'm in actually.
right.
I like the passion. I like the rasp. I like guys sounding like guys on music. You know.
Needs more of that.
Why do you like the hair metal from the 80s? Because that's all women
Totally
singing
different time.
like women.
Totally different time.
And they look like women.
Yeah. All right. So here we go. This is the hook of When You Forgive Someone.
When you forgive someone, you set yourself free.
It's very true.
When you forgive someone, you set yourself
So
free.
we're repeating. Okay.
It's not easy.
Okay. Yeah, it's not easy.
It's not easy.
And we got it the first time.
Definitely not.
Let me
What
guess.
happens?
Do you set yourself free?
Okay.
Hey!
Oh man.
All right. Well, I think I know where
Well,
Betty's
we don't
going.
know where we were setting ourselves.
Yeah, you're free.
Maybe free.
Man.
You're free. Betty Lou, you were out on the snap. Where are you on the hook?
No, I like it.
Oh, you do? Yeah. Yeah, I enjoyed that. But there is part of that where it's like, okay, you didn't really push yourself on this lyrically.
It's like 40 seconds of 2 sentences.
Yeah, but I think sometimes you don't need a lot because it needs to be repetitive because it's
speaks
true.
For itself.
Well, it's very true. It's a simple concept. When you forgive somebody, you set yourself free, and sometimes people need to. I don't know. I don't think more needs to be said. So I am in on that one.
Is it easy or is it hard?
It's hard. It's hard.
Oh,
yeah.
Would you say it's not easy?
It's not easy. No.
But
when
you set yourself free.
Yeah,
for sure.
Gavin?
Sure.
Sure.
I guess if I'm on the fence, I technically should probably be out. But no, let's stay
Okay,
out.
Gavin's gonna be out.
Too little.
Okay, well there you go. I get lyrically not like the deepest well, but truth. So whatever you want to do.
Because it's not easy.
Yeah, you get to choose. These are the 2 songs. You got song number 1, Money Can't Buy, which is this. Very world flair to that.
Love it.
And song number 2, When You Forgive Someone.
You're stuck?
No, you're
set
free.
yourself free.
Yeah.
I didn't get it the first time. Let me try it again.
Try it again. And?
But is it difficult to do?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, smart Alec. All right, that's enough out of you. Okay, so now we want to hear from you. Which of those 2 songs do you relate to and would you love to hear more of on Way FM? 855-33 FM. That's 855-33 Way FM. We'll take your opinion right now. All right, Wendy, you have heard the hooks of the 2 songs here for Snap Judgment. You got song number 1, Money Can't Buy, and song number 2, When You Forgive Someone. Which of those 2 songs resonated with you and you would like to hear more of on Way FM?
I'm going to go with When You Forgive Somebody.
The second song. Okay. Now, why did you choose that one?
The first one, I don't know. The guys just didn't seem very articulate. I couldn't really understand what they were saying.
Sure.
And then the second one, to me, did have a little bit more of that
repetitiveness.
80s hair band.
Well, and especially, too, when you say you can't articulate what the first song was saying, in the second song, you definitely can, because if you missed it on the first time, they'll sing it to you on the second time.
Oh, for sure, yeah. They're making sure that you get the point, because it's very simple lyrically, but then again, isn't forgiveness simple? We just got to choose to do it, and sometimes we have to be reminded of it over and over.
Wow, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for taking us to church.
Yeah, that's right.
Wendy, do you have any guess as to who sang either song?
No.
Okay, well, the first one you passed up on, the one who sang Money Can't Buy, that's by Cochran & Co., which is just one single guy, but he calls himself Cochran & Co.
And they're not fans of complete sentences either in that band.
Money Can't Buy.
Yeah, it needs a direct object.
And then the one you chose, the When You Forgive Someone, that's Need to Breathe. I love Need to Breathe, and I love this song, but I am saying that I get the point.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's a very simplistic but wonderful message song, and you have picked it. So, Wendy, here we go. It is Need to Breathe, the winner today on Snap Judgment. Thank you.
Hi, you're welcome.
I couldn't see I was the only hostage to the bitterness I can't let go. Maybe now it's time to cut my losses, move on.
Well, that's the end, but it doesn't have to be. Check out our Aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes as well as connect with us on social media. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online for supporting what we do.